just going to show an example of docking with an extra level of automation now of my mining drones. So I'm hunting for aluminium because I'm low on that, so I've found some and we're heading off to this place to get some aluminium. Just got to be careful with these engines. This thing with these new engines can go pretty bloody fast. I'm just gauging the height here. Go back to the bridge, captain's bridge, and obviously we're just going to lower it down a bit. And now a bit faster. Just trim it to the left a bit, get it square on, looking good. You can see even with the slowest setting now, you're still going to be cautious because it's pretty quick even at the slowest setting of the engine. Now I've got a busted energy transmitter, not a problem with that, I'll deal with that in a minute. But I'm getting close enough. A bit lower, and you can see how quick it responds even with the slightest adjustment. There we go. And that'll probably do us. We'll just stop the engines here. Right. Doesn't need to be perfect, by the way. You'll see in a minute. It's you don't need to be perfectly lined up. Just close enough, and you'll see in a minute why. Yeah, I'm not going to build there because I do want a bit of entryway, so I'm going to find out here in a minute that I'm out of plating, so I'll just get the dock in. That'll do the trick. Come back to base and just dock. You can see why you don't need to muck around getting perfectly close. Just this is close enough. The auto dock system's quite nice. There you go, we're all docked. Now I'm just checking I need more plating. Oh yes, I've got to repair the transmitter. Yeah, something a bit twisted and wrong with it. I don't know what's going on. I replaced it with the one on the left, and it's not functioning either. I don't understand why, but we'll see. So here, this is where this is where I realise I've run out of plating. So we're preparing the deck for a temporary deck for the mining bots, drones, whatever, and this is where I discover I'm out of plating, so I'll be cutting it here and going to manufacture more plating. bolt material for the plating. That stuff, that's it. That'll do, and I'll just splice this video with the next one when I come back. All good? Done. Okay, we're back. Got my plating. In case you didn't catch my previous video, what the design here is all the bots I use are parked on the ship. So that's what the design's all about. Anyway, yeah, when you build your mining dock stations here, they don't need power, so you can just shunt them right next to each other. So they're all just parked here. You just build your bots on your ship, and they'll go and automatically park in these little bays without power. Great for just garages, if you will, little garages. Got a problem with my water's capping out over 129,000. Going to have to just add another deck to that. I'm just waiting for the factory to build some plates at the moment, and it's nearly set. This back area here looks after the water, by the way. That's all those auto retrievers are set to ice. Power's running about 70% efficiency. I have an abundance of power, as you can see. Just using solar panels. I was playing with a nuclear reactor and something else and just didn't see the point. Yeah, so the bots come through here. That's why I've left a gap there. They'll come in through here when we're ready. And there's the aluminium that I want over there on the right. And this is new construction that I've done for stuff that comes off planets. Will automatically pump into these two factories, convert. Assembly line's going to run up here, up the tube, into storage. And what you're seeing going in at the moment is the remnants from the last planet I was harvesting. Obviously, as I'm travelling, and once you've harvested a planet, the processing stations are still full of the raw product. So as you're travelling in your ship, that's just all being converted and processed as you go. It's great fun. It's a damn good game. It's amazing how people have had all their own little particular designs. Just checking the food. Yeah, it's out of control again. Far too much. I'll just remove some of this food from here because the astronauts are getting fat. You see, I'm overproducing, but I've got to keep them working. So I don't know. Don't know what the use is of more astronauts yet, though. Frankly, don't know. Just tidying things up while I'm just waiting for the first batch of fabrication to finish of the plating, and we'll get right to it. But I just thought I'd just show you some of the workings of my designs. A lot of stuff I do manually. I have just recently started automating a couple of things, but I tend to like to just operate machinery when I need to do certain things. So we should have our first batch, should be pretty well ready now. Oh, checking the food in the dining rooms. Got some bloke here eating at the moment. Yeah, the ham looks good. Christmas time and all. Oh, there's our first batch. That'll do. That'll get us started. Righto. Just making sure the filtering systems aren't sending it to these guys. Good. Right, off we go. So, yep, all the bots are parked on the deck, waiting for their orders. Let's get to it. So we're going to extend this out. Get our temporary mining stations ready. I'll make a mistake here using the shift to do multiple, which is what you do when you're building them on the ship, but you can't do it when you're doing this because you need the access to the voltage, the power. So obviously a bit of a mistake there. Z shift, get rid of that and do it properly. There we go. It's just a guesstimate what I do when I do this. I just basically throw down a big long path across the planet, roughly. And depending, and you sort of just do a bit of a calculation in your head how much you'll be needing. But I think I'm using 20 to 50 bots at the moment for the planets that I've been harvesting. 20 to 50. And I'm not in any hurry. Some people have got to the end game of this already, this game, and I'm thinking, gee whiz, have a bit of fun, why don't you? Blasting all the way through your black holes and finishing the game, getting to end game. Gee, the game's not even, the design isn't even finished. Why don't you just take it easy, cruise a bit. I've got no design at the moment or want to start building on planets or anything. I'm happy to cruise along in the ship. Getting the conveyor belts laid down. Oops, out of planing again. So, back to the factory. It should have some more ready for me by now. Yep, that should see us through. Alright, so we'll just get the conveyor belt sorted out. Get it ready for going into the dock system. Oops, too far down. In case you're wondering why there's no game sound, it was my recording was picking up some background static nonsense coming from some feedback loops, so I just muted it. It's not that much important sound on this game. Alright, just running the power couplings across the deck. I don't bother with neatness on temporary builds. Just throw it up generally keep the wires out of the way of the drones though. This design seems to work fine. They're not going to be flying up at that level anyway. Bit of a mistake there, that's alright, just peel that back. Okay, so we've got the power going to there, and this is where we're coming up when I discover that I've still got a problem with the transmitter. The power transmitter receiver, the receiver's fine. Well, it's weird, you know. Is the receiver fine? I don't know. But you'll see in a minute that I build a standard receiver. I like to use white when I'm building electric things. I don't know why. Just, who knows? White for electric things, transmitters and receivers. Anyway, so we'll get the receiver down. Still not 100% sure how these things work. I mean, I get them working, but I don't know why when I'm beaming to it that sometimes I can, sometimes I can't get the circuit. Anyway, I'll get some power into the grid from the transmitter. Just avoid that bit of rock there that's in the way. That's good. That's all set up, ready to go. And this is where I'm jumping in this. You can see this thing's powered. This is fully powered, connected to the ship's power. And I jump in it, and I can't focus on the damn receiver. So you jump in it, you press, as you can see in the menu, I think it's F or something, and here I can't lock onto it. Don't know what's up. It won't get the target. No idea. So I abandoned that one and go into the, I'm checking it out thinking, what's wrong with you? Why don't you listen? But you see, and this is why I replaced this one. Because it wasn't doing it the last time. So you can see I replaced this one, jump in this one, beam to target, locked. So I don't get it, don't understand it, but who cares? That's why I keep two. Because one doesn't work, the other one does. So I still don't get it, that's life. Now I'm just setting everything before I bring the bots over. I'm setting to aluminium. Otherwise I'll just start harvesting anything, so that's why you think ahead. Don't want to fill up your stuff with crap you don't need. I've got 50,000 carbon. So the last thing I need is bloody carbon at the moment. I've got it coming out my ears. So we're setting everybody to aluminium, and this is where the beauty of this begins. Everybody's ready there. I know I haven't finished the conveyor belt, that's fine. There's a buffer there, they'll start putting them into the mining station, so that's not a big deal. I like to jump in the captain's chair when I'm programming my droids, because you feel like a bit of an overlord. It's good fun. Right, P for Paul, hit the menu, and you can see everybody's at parked at first station. That happens to be where they were born, by the way. It's not the name of the ship. So I'm just hitting 10 here, as you can see, and that's the name of the planet that we're on. It comes up underneath. So I do my first 10 or so, and I look out and just see if the logic is happening. And as you can see, yes, they're leaving their docks. And this is why you keep the doors open in the centre of the docking system. Nice and easy to get through. They're all going to head off to a vacant mining station pad, park their asses and realise that they've got orders to go and get aluminium. park, and off they go, taking their orders to go and get aluminium. So we know that's working, and then I surmise that I need probably at least another 10 or so, and then I'll actually go and physically count them. I'm just being a bit rough here. Lovely menu system too. Once you've programmed them, those ones that have been sent off go to the bottom of this list. So when you come back to this menu, the ones at the top are the ones that are on the ship all the time, which is very handy, as you can see. It's another 10 or so, and I'll go and take a look now and see, do a quick count. And for this planet size, I'm not going to really bother making any more. Again, patience is a virtue for me. I'm happy just to, especially with a planet this size. So over here what you do is take a look and see how many drones are assigned to each station. 2 of 2 is obviously the right one, and that'll show you even if they haven't arrived yet, because it's just, there you go. So I'll need 2, 4, 6 more drones, and I know I could do it from there, but I'm just being a captain. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. That's all the drones we need for the job. And we just check everything's functioning. First bits of aluminium, they've found where they're going to get it from. I tend to help them out a little bit by clearing the area. I'll get to that in a minute. Yep, I just usually like to help them out, especially when you just see where they're heading for, because let them pick out where they want to go, and then you just clear it out a bit, give them a bit easier access. They'll dig it out themselves, but it just saves them the time if you just clear it out a bit for them. That's all good. They're happy now, happy little robots. Yep, the first of the ores coming along. So we're just going to go back and finish off this. Just activate one of the outgoings on the right side, leaving the centre always open for drone comings and goings. Oops, made a mistake there. Just Control Z. No, sorry, that's computer talk. Just delete that crap, start again. Alright, there we go. I do like the ramping design of this, and the logic and the splitting and that. Obviously, you know, we're near the depth of some games like Factorio, but I do like it. I do like it very much. I think it's superior to Foundry. That game was really good too, but I'm really preferring this one. Okay, that's the first lot going through, and of course once it gets through into the ship, it'll start being automatically processed. That's the new extra things I've done since the last video. I used to be very happy in a small planet just to gather the minerals off the stations and just fly them back to the ship manually, but what the hell, might as well play with the automation, learning to see how things go. For the sake of symmetry, I'm just building a splitter there, a 50% splitter, and I'm just going to share the workload to the other side of the ship because I've got 2 processing stations. So just activate the secondary conveyor belt on the dock, on the left hand side this time, keeping the centre open. Right, so that lot's just splitting the load. And this station, of course, is still processing the remnants from the last planet. Love this crazy design, and the ability to use your imagination to do anything you wish and still get the job done. And you can just go over the top. I've seen people do crazy, super in-depth automation systems, and why not? There'll always be someone that does it better and more efficiently than you. But I'm more of just having a bit of fun myself. So while that's running, just checking the power. This is an odd thing I noticed. See, there's still 70% load. I don't understand that. I think it's a bit of a bug, because it should be more than that, because I've now transmitting the power off the ship. It should dip a little, but it doesn't. Just making sure things are looking at, yeah, you can see there's stuff left over from the platinum, I think, from the last planet we harvested. There we go, so that's where it's all, yeah, quite a lot of it too. Just dumping some remnants into there. As you can see, it's all going to be going up here. Heading off to storage. Oops, my water level's getting a bit dangerously to its max, so I'm just going to quickly put another floor onto the storage system. I happen to like using the transparent plate for the water, funnily enough. Now, I didn't in the past, I'm not going to go and edit it, but for the next levels that I do, I will be adding more, I'll be using this transparent material. It just suits it. Anyway, I'm out of plates again, so I'm just going to head back to the factory, scoop up more plates. That should do. Yep, that'll do the trick. Perfect. Okay, just going to finish constructing the rest of this additional floor. You see how this works. Can get tricky, but you just can angle it the right way, and you'll figure it out. There we go. So we'll just get that in. Yep, that goes out to there. Very neat building system in this game. There we go. Lovely. Now the tricky part is getting your water tanks in here. But I've learned how to do it. It's not that bit like squeezing your head into a bloody tight space, but it does work. So you get some sort of, get one ready to go, and then you can just connect that and just drag it. There you go. There you go. So there's another level of water there. I've got a little bit here to fill in. There you go. Lovely. So that'll give us an extra bit of water, because we're right at capacity. You can see it's right on the brim there, which is good. Right, now we can crack probably to about 135,000 units, which is over the top, but I'm having fun. I think of it as a swimming pool too. This was a crazy design. I tried to make it so that no traffic jams, so I'm using all sorts of crazy filters, logic and crazy stuff, but this works. Well, it's obviously efficient because it's keeping the water topped up 100%, and the farms. Yes, I must build the next farm. Cows, that's what I should do, because that'll use up the water, and probably, yes, that's the next thing I'll do. Put cows out and get some milk happening for the astronauts. So that's good. It's a good idea. Use some of this overly stocked water. Anyway, that's all good. Oh yes, I was reminding myself I've got no output coming from that factory there for the ice. Yeah, you can see the transfer systems for most what I'd like to, when I automate, I like to stick it under the ship. I love this effect, by the way. It says blue sparkling. That's obviously the shield, the oxygen shield. This is obviously the base of the oxygen shield. And I think it's nice. It's very sci-fi with all the lights flashing. Like, you know, it's weird. I do like it. It's, even the top there, as you can see, it's very Tron-ish. It's amazing what you can build in this game. And you start on a platform with a bloody axe and you're floating in space banging rocks. And although I've seen other people with a lot more elaborate ships and designs that I'm using, I'm happy with what I've got. I love the flexibility. Yeah, this is just showing my recycling. You can see this is what I've recycled from the last planet harvest. Recycle, throw it in the recycler and you get, well, not all the materials back, but you'll get some. So it's very good. This is my carbon filter system. So it's the carbon being removed from all assembly lines, coming up and being stocked into the carbon centre. And that goes up under the ship. And obviously, as you can see, it's probably well over 50,000 carbon. So I'm not in need of that, that's for sure. Quite copper's good. Yeah, aluminium's what I'm short on. That's what the planet's top over is all about. Top up on aluminium. That's me looking at the wood. Don't know what to do with that yet. I've yet to get involved with that. Making wood and stuff to do with that. I think this is interesting. I like the graphics and animations of these things. It's just absolutely mad. I think this is where I zoom in a bit just to show you. I love the opening and closing spherical hatch of this thing. It's absolutely mad. Well done to the designers. Of course, you see it a lot in science fiction, the alien spiral hatch, but very well done. I like it how the materials fall through. It's like it's a vacuum tube or some bloody thing. Interesting. And obviously when you're harvesting planets, it's the perfect time to go out and top up your stone and your quartz. But here, of course, I'm obviously uncovered a bit more aluminium, ready for when the bots come over to this side. But while I'm at it, I'm just clearing out, obviously clearing out some access for the bots. But this is where you spot your your stone and your quartz. And frankly, I see a lot of people putting down the drills, but I find them to be totally a waste of time. I've done many drills, big ones, small ones, and I just find setting them up and using them a total waste of time. Because frankly, you can just belt out enough of the resources that you need yourself manually. See, by the time I would have set up a drill to get this rock, the stone, sorry, I've already depleted the seam. So it's like, don't see the point at all. Other than the fun of setting it up and watching them work and all the rest of it, but don't see the point yet. So that's about it. See, I've pretty well plundered all the stone out of this area, and of course just cleared out the area for the bots to come back and get their the aluminium. But so other than a couple of bits on the edge, that's it. That area is now harvested all the stone out of there. So what would be the point of setting up a friggin' drill? Now I'm just going to get rid of this rock just for the sake of it might be in the way later for the drones. The same here. See, I've seen people set up a drill for this, and what's the point? Look how quick it is just to rip out all the stone that you need, and you don't need to be super efficient, but think of how long it would take to drill. Setting it up, and how long would it take to get all this out? Pointless. And that's about it. Nothing left there. I'm just I was curious to see if I'd get to the bottom of the planet there and through to the bottom. Anyway, that's about that. Everything's working out here. These guys are happy. I have to work on that dead power transmitter myself, figure out why that doesn't work. I'm looking at it, everything's plugged in, it's powered up. Weird, I don't get it. Still, whatever. I was curious to see if I could transmit to one that's already been transmitted to, but no. All good, doesn't matter. Alright. I have noticed since I've put the radar thing in the scanner system, I don't remember its name, that now I see these anomalies. That's a storm one, that red one that's there, and you will see them in the map here somewhere, I think. And although you can't actually, when you hover on them in the normal sky, it doesn't tell you anything, and when you hover on them in here, it doesn't tell you anything. But you can see logically the picture looks like it. Yeah, there it is there. You can see it off there. It looks like a red thing with lightning coming out of it, so it's pretty well a storm of some sort. I've yet to get close to one of those things, save the game first and just see exactly what it does to my ship. I'll be curious. It would be nice if you hovered your mouse on it that it'd tell you what the hell it was though, for sheer curiosity. That's alright, maybe it does when you get closer. There's another one down there too, so just be aware of it. I've only seen that one and a rain looking icon, which I don't know what that means either. Yeah, that red one looks like with water droplets coming out of it. I don't really get it because I thought that's what storm would be. Here's a big overview of my ship. All its glory. A single platform reminds you what you started with way back when. that's going to be just about it. And of course, when you're finished with the planet, all the drones will park themselves in the little plate, their stations, and just do the reverse. Obviously use the Z bulk erase of all the platforms and things when you finish, but you'll be pressing the P menu again and calling all the robots back to the ship. Well, actually, you're not calling them back to the ship. You just send them to another destination, and they just park themselves on the ship. Anyway, that's enough of that. Pretty well done with this video, and we'll see you next time, I guess. And just get myself back in the captain's chair, and that'll do us for this one here. See you later.